Yeah, what's up, guys? What is going on out there today? Another episode of What's the Right Shot, number 419. Got a little different version for you today. We don't have a point teed up for you, but we've got Jeffrey Jacklich, 365, with some constraint drills for us today. And yeah, I mean, one of them we actually talked about yesterday, Jeff, which was just play some points where all you get's one serve.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do a game where you keep score, that's fine. Or if you really want to work on your second serve, let's call it, then just play a bunch of points where you just get one serve. And if you miss the serve, all right, yeah, move on over to the next side.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I've got that as number 2, but it's a little more specific.
Okay, good. So we'll get into that in just a second. Do I need to bring up the chalkboard?
Ooh,
the interactive chalkboard,
the high-tech whiteboard.
Well, high-tech.
It's no longer white,
and it's no longer high-tech. It's now considered low-tech. Which gets me thinking maybe I should get that AI guy on it and have him come up with something really cool. So guys, look, hope you're having a great day so far wherever you are. Beautiful day here in the Southern California desert. Good morning, Mark. Forecast, the weatherman's calling for 95 today, Jeff.
Ouch.
So I guess you could say ouch, or you could go, oh baby, let's get to work, because how many others are going to actually put themselves out there in 95-degree weather and work like a dog? Twice. I got the big O this morning, and then he and I are going to go out there with Rick Meyer at high noon.
Ooh,
and,
nice.
Get a little drilling going in.
Nice.
But you're right. Not that many will actually do it. So, if you really want to separate yourself from the pack, you really want to do some, some serious on the path movement up to that next skill level, whatever that is for you. I mean, one way to start it would just be outwork these guys. I mean, how many tournament players are actually, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but how many of the guys who show up to play the national category ones are actually working on fitness on a day in and day out basis? And I don't know about your age group, but my age group, I think that it's not that many.
Yeah, it's very few. It's, well, to the degree that you're in shape, you can go 2.5 hours if you need to, 3 hours if you needed to, and be there the whole time, be in the hunt and constructing points and mentally and physically there. So that's really, when we say that, the quickest way to get better is simply to improve your fitness. The point being is this is what you don't know psychologically in your head is that when you're not fit, you're looking for the exit, because your body is telling you 4, 5, 6 balls deep on a corner to corner rally, and your body's telling you we got to look for the exit. You don't hear it that way, but it's this underlying drive, and then that's the way you play, because you can't consistently go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 balls deep in a point, and you will just naturally look for the exit before the other guy, and that's just a recipe for disaster. So you might be able to hang that way for one set in the condition that you're in, but the point is that if you lose that set, do you have the conditioning to test the other guy's conditioning, to test him, to stay with him, toe to toe, keep grinding, and then at 3-all in the second set, you notice he's sucking wind and you're not, because you're in shape, and all of a sudden it's like, there it is. So the key there is not to step on the gas and try to try and bang him out of the corners. No, we're going to bleed him now. Now we're going to make sure every ball I hit goes in. I'm going to make sure that I don't make no bad decisions, and start making this guy hang him out to dry. That's how you can then flip a match and make it physical and win a match.
Yeah. No question. I mean, it's like if that's not on your what's the word I'm looking for? Well, anyway, if that's not on your daily agenda in terms of becoming a better tennis player, I don't care if you're just playing doubles. If you're just playing doubles, still. So here's the thing. Like tomorrow, Jeff. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'm driving to the Bay Area tomorrow. Going to hang out with the kids, the grandbaby, mama with a player to be named later coming up here in June. Grandkid number 2. We know it's a girl.
Mm.
I know. So I'm going to be up there in the Bay Area starting tomorrow, and then all day Friday with them, and then Saturday heading east to go to our property in Colorado, Knighton, Park City. A couple days there, and then back down here. So for the next 7 days, starting tomorrow, I think I've got to do pre-records, and my plan is to do a 7-part series. I'm going to have to pre-record it today.
Yeah.
But a 7-part series on the path to becoming a consistent shot maker. Now, that sounds pretty darn simple. Well, okay. No. And fitness is one of them.
Right.
Fitness is one of the things. You can have the greatest looking frickin' topspin forehand drive of all time for one set. Now, all of a sudden, the consistency in terms of shot making starts to go down because the fitness level is not where it should be.
Right.
So that's kind of one of the really important components of becoming a consistent shot maker. Lots of the other stuff is physical in terms of, I'll get into it over the next week or so. And there's some mindset stuff in there as well. One of them, what we talked about recently, take the frickin' sideline out of it. Just do that.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're going up the line or if you're going cross court, take the sideline out of it. Stop flirting with that sideline. Stop making errors where you hit the ball clean as a whistle that's a foot wide.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. The only reason we do that is because we don't want that guy to touch the ball. We just don't trust that we can play 4, 5, 6, 7 shots in that points. We don't trust that we've got shot tolerance.
Right. And the thing is, you're not thinking clearly though when you're doing it. That thought is not in your head. That's the elephant in the room. Is you think you're like, oh God, I should make that. It's like, no, really, you probably should have hit a high roller cross court and step back into the court and like reset the point. But that's not going on in your head because you can't tolerate another 2 to 3 balls.
That's right.
But your brain, but you're not processing it that way. And so you make these decisions based on the heightened stress load at the moment. And, again, we're human beings, and normally under high stress loads, do we make the best decisions? Question mark. And the thing is, though, you just don't realize you're doing it. I can tell you my own journey over the last few years, and increasing my fitness, and you've seen me on this journey, and all of a sudden in some of the matches I played, it's like, holy crap, guy doesn't miss. And he's, oh, look at that. He just reset the point. And he's just hitting the same ball, same pattern. He just reset it. Okay, he's going to hit the same pattern again. And then, okay, first set, he wins I win the first set. And then the second set, the other player just kind of disappears. I mean, if you look at my scores in the first few rounds of some of these events, some of the guys I'm playing are, other teaching pros, they're good ballers. But we get into the second set, and it's like, oh, there it is. I can see them. They're looking for the exit on ball 3 now. It's like, here we go. And all of a sudden it's 6-1 second set, 6-0 second set, because they're just they can't do it. But they're making that decision not necessarily consciously. It's just they just can't hang with it, So anyway.
Hey, Rich. Good morning, KJ Tennis.
Morning.
Good morning to you as well, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today. All right, so Jeff, you got do I need to bring up the chalkboard, or should we just chat away on your drills?
First one is I'm not sure if I even mentioned it yesterday, but we can talk about it in a little more depth, right? First one is this: we're talking about being consistent, right? Being able to stay in a point longer, and what decisions, and all these little variables can come into play. So one way to do it when you're starting on this journey is to take all the variables out of it. you've already made the decision where every ball is going to go. How do I do that, Jeff? That's crazy. Like it's like, nope. Every forehand you get goes cross court. Every backhand you get goes cross court. Period. End of story. I don't care if the guy approaches, up the line, or he approaches cross court. Whatever ball you get, it's a forehand. And if the ball's in the deuce side of the court, you're going to hit that ball cross court. If the ball's in the ad side of the court, you're going to hit it cross court into the other ad side. Period. And you play that way. Do it for a whole set. And the score of the set is completely irrelevant. What you will discover, though, is that I put 6 balls in play that point, something I maybe never normally do. And amazingly, the guy at some point took the bait and he tried to redirect a decent hit, forehand. He tried to redirect it up the line, and he hit it wide. Okay, let's stay at it. And so you have to, what you will learn about whoever you're playing with, and this is the deal: do not tell them you're doing it.
I was just gonna say, right?
Just play, because I've had players do this, and I think Rich, I've had you do this, and you've come back and gone, they didn't even notice I was doing it. It's spectacularly amazing how unaware your opponents are, and we think they're really paying attention to all this stuff that we're doing, and they're not. So that's number one. Because
let me kind of dig in a little bit. I think that's a great and there's a couple ways to do that. Number one, you could play a set, you could play points. You could also do a third ball live type of drill where one guy drops and hits and starts a rally, and the first two shots are cooperative back and forth, and then the point starts. This is without a serve, obviously, but Jeff's saying there is really important. Don't let your practice partner or your opponent know that this is what you're doing. This is just you, right? The thing I love about this is that it can work into your matches, because you start to realize that you're actually eliminating shot choice. That little sub menu that can drop down in front of your face when an opponent plays a ball to you, and here it is, it's just, and the longer it goes, it's like the confusion is just reigning. Yeah. So this drill, if nothing else, it helps you. First of all, you've eliminated shot choice. It's gone. It's done. So guess what happens now? Now you have real clarity in terms of, well, if I've got to take this ball cross court, then I've got to create spacing. I've got to do this. I got to do that. I've got to do all these things to be able to play that ball cross court. And what you come to realize is, wait a minute, I've already got that stuff. I know how to do that. I've hit a cross court forehand 10,000 million times before. Now all I have to do is just do it again and again. And it just frees you up in terms of the mental part of not having any kind of confusion on shot choice.
Go ahead and bring the court up. Let's chat about this with the court up here for a second.
Okay. Oh, it's not up there. Did this yesterday, didn't I?
2 days ago.
I'm sorry.
I'm just
some days it's different.
Okay, so let's just keep the players there. They're in a cross court rally. You're the player. Is that S, the server? Okay.
Yep.
So if you're that player and you hit the ball middle deuce, right? Go ahead and put the ball just middle deuce.
Is that right there?
Okay, right there. We don't even care about the player right now. It's irrelevant what he's doing. Just pay attention to your ball. Okay, you've hit a couple and you've hit them both back middle deuce. And then you get a ball, and now move the ball toward the sideline. Let's say, and it may be even a little bit more, just for fun, right? It's just inside the line. Okay, you were aiming middle deuce. You unintentionally got a hair ahead of it. Okay, here now you've hit this beautiful ball that's within an inch of the sideline. Now take the player, Brenny, and put him out where he might be replaying that ball. So he's going to be outside the alley probably on the trajectory there, and maybe a little back. Let's push him back to the baseline, let's say. But now move him out to the alley, to the corner, the far corner, all the way. Yeah. Okay. So now let's say he plays that ball back to you cross court. We can leave the ball there though. And let's say he just hits a regular middle deuce court with the ball, right? What you've done though is because of where you've put him, you've run out of court to try and go back in there again. So my suggestion is when you find that you've put him that far out, your next ball, because you still have to hit it cross court, should be a little bit more court centric. There's no need now to try and squeeze. Oh man, I hit that so good. And to think now that you're going to squeeze what's left of the 2.5 inches of line, right, out of the next ball you hit. So take the next one and literally go middle deuce, or even a little bit more toward the center, right? I mean, somewhere in that area right there. Bring the player back into the court. And now what you've done is you've opened up the outside of the court again. So I just want to just be clear, when you're doing this, you can't think that you've run out of cross court. Anything to the right of the center hash is cross court, is deuce court. That whole area from the center hash to the single sideline, that's all cross court. So when you get out there on the edge, you got to bring the ball back in. And now you get more space to work with again. So anyway, I just wanted to, that just struck me that sometimes guys like, well, there's no more cross court. Yes, there is. You got half the court. So anyway, hope that makes sense.
That's good. All right, drill number 2.
Drill number 2 is it is the single serve, what you mentioned earlier, Brenny, but the way I like to do it, because it creates game stress. And this is something that we've talked about, tons in the past, that in practice, we have to create like match stress somehow. And sometimes that is hard to do, because if you're playing a match and let's say you're having a good day serving, and all of a sudden you don't get to a deuce point maybe until your third time serving. And maybe he's doing the same thing, or you're breaking him, or he's serving well. And now there hasn't been a deuce point and we're at 3-all in the first set. And so we're kind of just cruising through this match, through this practice set, and no one's really feeling any stress yet. So a way to do that is that the first player, the minute of the score gets to 40-15 or 15-40, right? The minute either player gets to 40, the server at that point forward for the rest of the game only has one serve.
Okay.
So at 30-all, you win that point and you're serving at 40-30, you get one serve now for the rest of the game. If it's 30-all and he wins the serve and you're serving at 30-40, you have one serve the rest of the game. So if you win that point, then you're back to deuce, but you still, now the rest of the game is you only have one serve.
Yeah.
And it's just a way to create stress. And this is a really important factor to be able to perform, to be at full play mode in practice and be under legitimate stress. Those two things are very hard to create in a practice situation. And so it's really critical that you can create these stress loads that have weight to them in a practice situation. Okay, so hope that makes sense to everybody, like how to do that.
No, that's good.
It's very simple. It's very simple, and most of the time, who you're playing with say, "Hey, let's play a set and let's do this. It's going to add some stress. It's going to be great." And play it and do it. Shouldn't.
Well, I think what happens too, like once you get into the real deal, into the real match, is you get into this situation and you practice it enough to realize that this is not as stressful as what I used to perceive it to be.
Right.
And so, and I've just found like last year, I kind of felt like I got in, I'm thinking of this one match, the semis of the clay courts. I mean, there were some real stressful, could have been very stressful situations against this guy who couldn't miss. And it didn't matter. In the first set, it didn't matter what I did. The guy just looked at it, went, you know, put on the blindfold. I'm going to hit it as hard as I can. And bump, there it goes. Winner. And he actually was serving twice for the set. No, he had set points twice when he was serving. One time he double faulted, but the other time I just got great serve out wide to the ad court, went over there. I was past the doubles alley and somehow just the high backhand, knifed it up the line, and it dropped. The only time it was inside the court was when it landed. Crazy.
Isn't that great?
But that I think before, and that was at the end of the year last year. That was in September of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I think before last year, I just think missed that badly. I just would have been perceiving stress rather than thinking to myself, okay, this guy's playing out of his mind. Yeah. He's got himself to set point. Oh boy, here comes a great serve out wide. And my thought was, excuse me, I guess we're going 3. I guess we'll be playing 3 sets today.
Right.
Which is, just that's fine. That's fine. Whereas before it was like a little panic mode, like, oh my God.
Right.
Other than realizing, wait a minute, can this guy actually keep this going for a couple of hours?
Right. Can I just stay close?
I just can't believe it. I'm already close. I mean,
right.
I just so anyway, I think that's a great drill. All right, what do you got for? And Susanna's saying, would you then do a second serve?
So the point of the drill, right, is one, create artificial stress that's actually translates to real stress, and then the point is you have to be way more thoughtful about your serve. Like, where do you want to serve that ball for like, where are their strengths on the return? What don't they like? Maybe I should, right? So it can be a full second serve. It can be a little hybridized, second serve. I know, and Brenny knows this for sure because he's seen me do it a zillion times. In certain stressful situations in match play, in tournament match play, I might be up 5-40 or 40-15, serving for a game, even maybe serving for a match or serving for a set. And I will go to the kicker on a first serve because I want this guy. I can kind of see he's getting dialed in. I can see he's getting screwed in a little tight. And so it's like, I want him to watch this ball. I want him time to have his life flash before his eyes before he hits it. And I'll hit this big kicker, get the ball up around his shoulders. And he is screwed in so tight. I've had more of those points. The guy just wing the ball like at eye level right past me into the fence.
Yeah.
Right. Just overkill it. So
Susanna, I would say however you want to perceive it, it's either you get one serve or you can call it a second serve. But this is a great opportunity to practice whatever you consider to be your in-play serve, your guaranteed in-play serve. And that means that it's got enough height over the top of the net where there's no way you're going to double fault. It's got enough spin to be able to bring itself back down that it's not going to be deep. But you've got to find, it's one thing to take a bag of 50 balls out there and hit 50 second serves. It's another thing to be able to do the same thing in a match play practice situation. And the more you do it, the more you will desensitize yourself to stress in that situation in a real match. So,
and you'll find that maybe I need to spend a little more time on my second serve so it can become something that isn't just putting a ball in play.
Yeah.
And that's really part of the point of this drill as well, is that we have to discover things that maybe we didn't notice before that are actually gaping holes in our game. And so if you're winning less than 50% of your second serve points, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So it ends up, these drills are designed to create opportunity to notice something. Like, oh, wait a second. Okay. maybe I do need to bear down here and get used to hitting 3, 4, 5, 6 balls, in the court.
Yeah, and there's other times too where you could play a practice set or you could play practice points, and without telling your practice partner or your opponent, just tell yourself, hey, I'm just gonna hit second serves all day. That's it.
Yeah.
They won't know. It's kind of like the cross-court drill. So shot choice is now eliminated. Jeff, we're getting a little lengthy here. Drill number 3.
Drill number 3. So this is a really fun one because it does create stress, and it really makes you pay attention to how important the game point is. So this one is whichever player. So if Brenny, you and I are playing, and I get to 40-15. No constraint on the serve or anything. The constraint is if I lose that point, I go back to love. Oh. Right? So if at 40-15, I lose that point, I'm now serving from the ad court at love 15. And we just continue to play the game. And then Brenny, if all of a sudden I'm serving at 15-40 to you and you lose that point, I'm now serving at 15 love. So I've done this with players and had games go on for like 15 minutes. And the first time it happens though, the player goes, "Oh crap, I forgot." So again, it's understanding that, getting to that point that you understand the importance of, well, maybe I should take a hair off of my first serve instead of trying to blow doors on a 40-15 serve and miss the first serve by 2 feet long. And now all of a sudden I don't feel confident. Oh God, right? And I've wasted that point because I wasted my first serve and I tried to, do something with the second that what really isn't in my wheelhouse. And now I'm serving at 40-30. Oh, right. So what it does is it really gets you narrowed in on what's the best play for me here to get out of this game right now. Maybe I should hit a spin second serve up into his backhand and look for a forehand that I can drive middle ad court. Because who's the pressure really on? But we waste so many game points on trying to go big in that moment rather than saying, you know what? I need to make this guy touch the ball as many times as possible because I'm in the driver's seat. But we don't realize.
The reason that players want to go big is they don't trust.
Right.
They just don't trust that they can just stay in the point. Look, I remember you and I had a gold ball hunting student a few years ago. And one of the questions was, well, what do you do at 40 love when you're serving? I just go huge. Just want to show them what I got. And I said, look, I've seen you do this. I knew this guy. We both know the guy. And he'd go big and he'd double fault. And then he missed the first serve. He'd go, we try to go semi-big at 40-15, miss. Then a second serve, little sitter. And loses the point. Now all of a sudden, the neck brace is starting to tighten. Yeah. And it's just, I used to do this too. I used to say,
is it hot in here?
Yeah, right. I used to think, well, maybe I should show the guy something different at 40 love.
Yeah.
And I used to think that, and I've really changed my tune on that. I've really gone more to, you know what? I'm just going to serve to the body. I'm going to serve right at them. And they've got the pressure to not lose this point. They have the pressure to have to win this point. So why would I give them a point at that moment? Why would I give them any sense of hope at 40-15? Right. And put that thought in my mind, like, okay, now maybe that wasn't too smart. Let's not screw this up. Oops, double fault.
Right. You lose that point, boom. Then you go, you're serving at 40-30. The next thing you know, you all of a sudden you zing one off the frame first serve. And it's like, oh, wait a second.
Oh boy. Incoming.
Right? Well, then it's like, holy moly. Yeah, maybe I should have paid attention on that 40-15 point and hit a kicker in or just a basic spin serve and made the guy touch the ball.
All right. So what you're saying is drill number 3, if you're serving, if the server has 40 at some point, could be 40 love, 40, 15, 40, 30, and loses, what about a deuce? Same thing?
You'll never get to deuce. Well, no, you won't get to deuce. You'll never get to deuce.
I see. That's right. Because if you have 40, 30 and you lose the point, you go back to zero. You go back to love. Okay. And the returner, the same deal.
Same thing.
If they get to 40,
whoever gets to 40 first, if they lose the next point, they go to love, and you just go to the next place you would normally serve from, and the score then will be correct in the correct court. If you just rotate to the next place you're supposed to serve, call the score. So at 40-15, I lose that point. I'm now serving from the ad side at love 15. I'm
starting to sweat a little bit already. Just kind
of. Oh, I think you should do this. I think you should do this with Owen this morning.
No, you know what? No, I don't.
But again, it's like, part of playing with constraints is about creating stress in a practice situation and real stress.
Yeah.
And so, and that's the beauty of these drills is,
Good.
You can't escape it.
All right, guys, look, hope this has been helpful. Try these 3 drills and then come on back in a week or 2 or a month. And I'm sure you will get resourceful and you'll come up with your own drill, maybe some variation of these, and let us know what that is. Look, if you got any more questions, leave them down below in the comments area. You can always do that. We will, I'll check them out. And if I can't figure out what your question is, I'll ask Jeff and see if he can figure it out. We'll get a good response to you. And look, if you want to shoot us an email, keep it private, you can do that. I'm Brent at WebTennis.com, and Jeff's over there at Jeff@Jacklets365.com. And so there you have it. Guys, thanks for hanging out today.
Boom.
Hope this was helpful. As always, it's time. We got to get out there. We got to help another human being have a spectacular day. Guys, oh, by the way, did you see Sinner take court apart this morning?
I did not see it. Did he tune him?
1 and 2. It was like,
ouch.
It was kind of unfair. It's on the red clay there at Monte Carlo, the balls.
Well,
and much as I love Sebi Korda, he just can't bring enough.
And didn't Sebi though tune Fokina the day before?
He did.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, holy moly.
Yeah. So he wasn't beat up from that match.
Yeah.
Which actually surprised me. It actually surprised me that was a score because
Fokina, that was actually Fokina's breakout tournament 2 years ago.
That's right. Against Novak.
Yeah. Good. Massive, that unbelievable match. But that's Sinner's just playing on a different level right now.
It is. Just anyway.
He actually went at the end of the day. He goes down to the beach there in the little bay there in Monte Carlo, and he's got his little yacht out there in the bay, and he just walks out to it now.
I see. Well, I guess it wouldn't surprise anyone waving. Hey, what's going on? All right, guys, I got to scoot. Get out in the court. Guys, have a great day, and see you again next time.
Right on.